Welcome back to the official Play Through the Whistle podcast. We are so glad you clicked on the video today. Follow us on all our social medias if you want to see more content like this. Click the link tree in the Instagram to get easy access to our social medias. If you are not already subscribed, click that subscribe button and turn your post notifications on. Now let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to the official Play Through the Whistle podcast. This is episode 2. I'm your guy. I'm your host, Garnett Punter. Alongside me is my co-host, Jalen Jordan. Jalen, how are you doing on this Saturday afternoon?
Doing well. We had a nice, fully jam-packed episode today, so we're going to jump right into it.
Like he said, we do have a fully jam-packed episode, and this is our second time recording this episode due to technical difficulties, but we didn't get too far in the first one, so hopefully it could still be fresh and it doesn't sound, I don't know, I don't want to say like not organic, but anyway, today we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, the series that we previewed last episode have been well underway. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the NFL. I mean, the draft is coming around, so we're going to give you some way too early predictions before the draft. And probably next episode, we're going to talk about the draft. That's too much for this episode. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the series in the East and starting with the 1-8 matchup, which is the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks took a comeback win and stole a game from the Heat last night. The series is now 2-1. Jalen, where do you see the series going from here?
Miami in 5. Great performance from Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks in the fourth quarter of Game 3. But when I look at this series, I think Miami takes Game 4 in kind of a bully ball manner. They're gonna spank. I feel like they're gonna spank the Hawks when they come back to Game 4 in the A, and then they're going to end it on their floor in Miami in Game 5, and they're going to prepare for their next matchup. So I have Heat in 5.
To be quite honest with you, I agree. It's not often we agree, but I agree on this. Just because of the fact that the Hawks, the way the Heat are playing right now, it's a lot for the Hawks to handle. It's a lot to put on the Hawks' plate, especially without a guy like Clint Capella, who's your starting center, John Collins, who was playing pretty much hurt, and then it's basically just Trae Young and Bogdanovich by themselves just trying to will this team to victory. I don't see this team going very far. I'll say Heat in 5 as well. Next up, my favorite series of the first round so far. It is the Celtics and the Nets, the 2-7 matchup. The Celtics have won both games 1 and 2, and Robert Williams is coming back for Game 3. Although he will be on a minutes restriction, he is coming back. I think we should also note that Ben Simmons is coming back for Game 4 for the Nets. And like I said, this is my team, so it might be a little bit of bias in this, but the Celtics have been playing phenomenal defensively. They have been playing very well defensively. And even when they couldn't get the shots falling, they've had their defense to fall back on. And that started runs that created easy buckets. Because we've seen in Game 2, the Celtics should have easily been down by like 20, maybe 25 points at halftime. But they kept getting some quick stops into quick shots. And best offense sometimes has to be great defense. And even when guys like Jason Tatum can get the shots to fall, and they will be finding guys like Grant Williams, who had a phenomenal game. Peyton Pritchard had a phenomenal game in Game 2. Jaylen Brown obviously took over in the fourth quarter, but I could talk about the Celtics all day. So, Jalen, where do you see the series going?
Nets in 7.
Robert for them to win 4 out of the next 5.
It's going to be tough, but the Nets, Game 1 they were a layup away from winning that. So that's a coin toss right there. Game 2, KD shot insufficiently. A lot of turnovers in crunch time.
Kyrie didn't play well either.
Kyrie did play slummy. So it's little things the Nets have to do to win games. Neither Game 1 or Game 2 has been a Boston landslide. It was been a back and forth battle for each game. The last couple minutes of Game 2 kind of looked like a Boston landslide, but that's because the Nets, KD was frustrated, Kyrie's frustrated. I feel like when they get back to their home court, Kyrie's not going to get heckled by fans, so maybe that gets him, gets the jitters out of his way, But I do see the Nets getting a win tonight. Also taking Game 4 when they get back to Boston. I think they take the next 3. Honestly,
they're winning 3 in a row.
I think they take the next 3.
Celtics haven't lost 2 in a row in so long.
I'm going to give the Celtics the benefit of the doubt of taking Game 6, and I have Brooklyn in 7.
That would be insane if the Nets come out and win 3 straight games. I'll say that. I didn't give a little prediction, so I'll say Celtics in 6. I'll say Celtics in 6. I'll be safe. I'll say the Nets take 2. Although the Celtics could easily have the series done in 5 games. But either way, we're moving on to the 3-6 matchup, which is the Bucks and the Bulls. The Bucks took a 30-point win without their guy Chris Middleton last night. And it seems like even though the Bucks played sloppy in games 1 and 2, it kind of seems like the Bucks have this one figured out. This is just like how the feel of the series has been. Obviously, it's a 2-1 series. It could go either way. But the way the Bucks have been playing, they even have been playing really bad, and they've just been this close to beating the Bulls. So I'll say Bucks in 5. I think Bucks take the next
2. Same here, Bucks in 5. I don't see an answer for the Bulls when it comes to guarding Giannis. Nobody's really found the answer to that. There's been multiple ways of trying to defend him, and he still averages to put up 30 points in series like this. No Chris Middleton will hurt them, but I feel like they'll feel the pain of not having Chris Middleton next round, depending on how long his injury's out, less than they will this round, because I think they wrap it up in the next 2.
Okay, in the last series of the first round, this is the series I've been the most wrong about. And I'll take some blame from that. It is the 76ers and the Raptors. Game 4, my fault, just wrapped up, and the Raptors avoided a sweep. I had the Raptors winning the series, and now it's 3-1 the Sixers' way. And Joel Embiid has been playing. I don't even want to say he's been playing phenomenal. He's just been playing good. It's been more the role players stepping up, like Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. And that's what the Sixers need if they want to go on a deep run in the playoffs. And I just didn't expect guys like Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris to fill the slack when James Harden, who has not been playing well in the series, has been playing how he's playing. Joel Embiid is playing all right. Outside of last game, he's been playing all right. And the Raptors, they just got hurt, man. I mean, I don't want to blame injuries for the reason my prediction was wrong, because they're probably still down in the series, even if they have all their players the way the Sixers have been playing. But guys like Scotty Barnes getting hurt, Gary Trent not feeling his best, Fred VanVleet not feeling his best. It's countless guys that have been hurt for the Raptors, and that's just unfortunate. But anyway, if I have to re-predict the series, I'll say Sixers in 5 since they're already up 3-1.
Yeah, I feel like Philly's closing it out back on their home floor, back in Philly. Joel Embiid had a nice game today. The reason why Philly lost this game today was a lot of miscommunications, a lot of turnovers. From watching the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, we saw a lot of fouls given up. Oh, free throws were saving the I won't say saving the Raptors, but they were helping the Raptors out a big way. One point in time in the fourth quarter, the Raptors had 29 free throws taken, and they're a good free throw shooting team. So I believe they had 26 of them made, if I'm not mistaken. So like I said in the net series, just little things like closing out of the shot. There was one point in time where Tobias Harris played great defense for like almost 13 seconds on Pascal Siakam, then gave up a foul. 1.5 left on the shot clock. So that hurts your team in the playoffs. But little things like that, Joel Embiid has to be more calm under pressure on the double team, making the right read instead of making the wrong one. But if they get those little things down, I feel like Philly will take the next game in Philly, and they will move on to the next round.
Okay, moving on to the Western Conference. The number 1 seed Suns are taking on the number 8 seed Pelicans, in which all games have been relatively close outside of game 1. But game 1, it was close until Chris Paul, the point guard, started turning up in the fourth quarter. Game 2 in this series, you saw Devin Booker go down, and we hope he gets better soon. But even with Devin Booker in that game, the Pelicans were just on one that night. And then you come back in game 3, and the Pelicans, they found themselves with a lead, but then Chris Paul again takes over in the fourth quarter. And I think the Suns take care of business even without Devin Booker. I'll say Suns in 6.
Yeah, I don't feel like the Pelicans are a great matchup for the Suns, even without Devin Booker.
DeAndre Ayton was eating last night.
DeAndre Ayton showed why he was the number 1 pick last night. I don't think we've seen a better DeAndre Ayton performance in that one. That one was in the playoffs, especially. We haven't seen one like that. That was a phenomenal performance.
The stuff he was doing to AD last year was wild. When he was healthy in like games 1 and 2.
AD was also hurt. But anyway.
I said in games 1 and 2. That's why I said games 1 and 2. Game 1, he locked down AD. I remember that vividly.
Anyway, yeah. So Suns take this probably in 6 games. I think the Pelicans have enough fight to take another game, but the Suns are a better matchup than the Pelicans are. So I got Suns in 6.
Moving on to the 2-7 matchup in this conference. The 2-7 matchup in this conference is the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And oh my God, the Minnesota Timberwolves disappointed me a couple of nights ago.
Let me explain to them. So
before I even go on there, let's just tell them that the series Memphis is up 2-1, but Memphis should not be up 2-1.
So game 3, I'm sitting down doing some homework, and the game was on. So I'm like, I look up, the Timberwolves are up 20. It's a fourth quarter. I kid you not, in less than about 5 minutes later, I look back up and the Grizzlies are winning. You can't have that in the playoffs. And that wasn't the first 20-point lead.
I'm about to say there was multiple 20-point leads.
That was another 20-point lead blown that night. You cannot have that. I don't know whether it's great coaching on Memphis side or what
it's Minnesota missing shots. It's Minnesota missing shots.
But
Minnesota is a team that plays with a lot of momentum. Let's say that they play up and down depending on how the momentum of their team is going, and you cannot play like that in the playoffs. You got to be able to play at any time. Anytime you get punched, you should be able to counter punch, and they're just not able to counter punch all that much. And we've seen that in Game 3, and it's just the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns, you catch him on the microphone like, "Oh, we're in Minnesota now," and they just lose. And it doesn't help that Karl-Anthony Towns has not been playing well in the playoffs. Just in general, even in the playing game, he was not playing well. He just hasn't been playing well. And oh man, Memphis in 5, bro. Memphis in 5. I've seen enough. So either way,
I don't know about Memphis in 5.
I'm taking Memphis in 5, bro.
I think Minnesota can pull out another one. I think they can pull out another game.
I'm done with Minnesota.
Game.
They needed Game 3 if they wanted to win the series.
Yeah, they did need Game 3 is crucial, but I feel like they could take another one. I think they could take Game 4. John Morant's a little banged up. I don't want to say he's fully healthy.
He wasn't playing well either. He really hasn't been playing well.
It's been in performances like players performing like Desmond Bane for the Grizzlies stepping up. But neither star in that series that really balled out. I think the Timberwolves can take another one. I feel like that series goes to 6 favor Memphis, but I feel like the Timberwolves can definitely take another game.
All right, moving on to the 3-6 matchup. The Golden State Warriors are taking on the Denver Nuggets. And we alluded to this a little bit in our playoff preview. Oh my God, I am tired of the Golden State Warriors. And they found another one. Can we say they found another one?
Oh, yeah. He's a baller.
Yeah, we say they found another one in Jordan Poole. And oh my God, this new def lineup is insane, bro.
Where's the broom?
I was watching Game 2. When I was watching Game 2, I promise you, I was just sitting there in amazement because they really put up like 30 points in like the span of like 5 minutes. And it's Steph, it's Jordan Poole, it's Clay. Then, you get Draymond or Wiggins on a backdoor cut scoring. This team is very, very, very scary.
Hey, bold prediction.
This team is very scary.
Bold prediction from the Golden State Warriors. After I win the chip this year,
don't say trade Klay Thompson.
I'm saying it. Trade Klay Thompson.
Trade him for what?
I think we are going to see Jordan Poole. We're seeing Jordan Poole take that next level in this playoff series. Has he outscored Klay in every game this season?
Yeah,
series.
Yeah,
he's outscored Klay. Klay makes a lot of money, and he's getting up in age. I think he's about to be 32, almost 33, if I'm not mistaken. And he makes about $30 million. If I'm the Warriors, the team is built around Steph Curry. Jordan Poole's a young 2-guard who can do what Klay Thompson does. Honestly, he might be able to do it to a better level. Finishing, get to the rack, get better defender. Klay's a better defender. But when I look at the Warriors, I feel like for the future, trading Klay Thompson to get younger pieces along with Wiseman coming back, it's not a bad look.
I just don't think. I'm not gonna say I don't think a team is willing to give up that. I don't think a team is willing to give up that many young assets for Klay Thompson, though.
It doesn't even have to be that many young assets. When you look at the Warriors, they have Juan Toscano Anderson, who's young, solid role player.
I mean, you got guys like Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga.
Along with James Wiseman, who fully healthy, the Warriors team it's a great team. So why not add to that young depth lineup? There's still no answer for Steph Curry. He's going to get his. Draymond facilitates that floor. So if I could trade Klay Thompson, get rid of a little bit of that money that he makes, bring in a young asset, and then probably not a high first round draft pick, maybe a low first round, early second round pick. I would do it if I'm Golden State. That's $30 million off the books, and I'm getting a young piece and not a high value pick, but
not $30 million off the books, but like $30 million spread out.
Yeah, I would do it.
All right.
I think they should trade Klay.
We'll see what the Warriors do come this offseason, but that's going to be a long time for now. Moving on to the last first round matchup, and oh my God. Like I said, I was done with the Timberwolves. I am done with the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are taking on the Dallas Mavericks, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Luka is back for this game.
Yeah, as we speak, right now, right behind me, the Jazz Maverick team is on.
What's the score?
The score is 19-18 in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka looks a little gassed. Yeah, well, as he should. It hasn't been his. It's been a while since he's been on the court.
I'm done with the Utah Jazz.
But yeah, the Jazz. The Jazz allowed Jalen Brunson to basically just show out.
And here's one thing. A lot of people blame Rudy Gobert for the Jazz's defensive struggles. They don't have any other defenders, so he has to do so much, and him overcompensating makes it look worse on him. But you're looking at it. The Jazz give up so many free drives to the rim, which causes Rudy Gobert to help because his best asset is blocking shots. He's not going to do no well for you standing out there defending the perimeter. So obviously he's going to help. And that leaves guys wide open. And then guys like, you know what? I'm going to even say guys like Donovan Mitchell, they're not rotating. Bogdanovich, not rotating. Mike Conley, not rotating. Royce O'Neal, who's supposed to be your best perimeter defender, is not playing defense. And that's not going to... This team has been put together so horribly. They've just been offense. Oh, we got Rudy Gobert though. He's gonna do the job for everybody, and you just simply can't. He simply can't.
Defense.
And that's not his fault.
Championships.
This team, it needs to get blown up. And I don't know if it's Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell you're going to trade. I would assume it'll be Donovan Mitchell because no team is paying Rudy Gobert $30 million and giving you assets. So I'd assume it'll be Donovan Mitchell. This team needs to go into rebuild mode. I'm done with the Jazz.
Honestly, I agree. The only defensive prowess on this team is Rudy Gobert, who is a post defender. He's not a perimeter defender. Like I said earlier in episode 1, the Mavericks can exploit that Luka Doncic pick and roll, have Gobert step out there, and Gobert's going to look like a deer in headlights because it's either they give it the free lane or Luka's going to perform that Luka magic we see and just go off. So in the offseason, the Jazz are more than likely going to ship Donovan Mitchell. I hope a player like Donovan Mitchell ends up in a successful organization. He has a lot of talent, a lot of potential in the league. And honestly, staying in Utah is going to hurt him more than favor him. So hopefully he ends up in a situation where that potential can shine on a big stage instead of the first round of the NBA.
I'm done with the Jazz, man. And I've been called a Jazz hater before. I'm just done with them, man. Like I said, if Luka was there, it would have been a sweep. It would have been a sweep. It would have been
watching Game 4, Mavericks up 3-0 right now.
It would have been here. It would have been sweet. But anyway, let's get into the, I wouldn't say better part of this episode, but the part of the episode that we're looking more forward to. And it is our NFL 2022 season preview before the draft. So these are way too early predictions. So like I said, they're relative to change. They're going to change. And without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the AFC. We're going to start with divisions. We're going to go division by division. There's 8 divisions, obviously. We'll start with the AFC East. You see my AFC East predictions on the right, Jalen's on the left. Obviously, top means we think you're going to be a better team than the team below you. So we have the exact same order for the teams in the AFC East. We both have the Bills in the first place slot, the Dolphins in the second place slot, the Patriots finishing third, and the Jets finishing fourth. I think the Bills are far and away the best team, and that won't change because of the draft. The Dolphins, they added Tyreek Hill. I think they got better than the Patriots. I'm just going to keep this a little short and simple. The Patriots are better than Jets. We've known this. They're going to be a better coach team. They're going to be better. And then the Jets are there. The Jets, I think, can compete this year a little bit. I'm not saying compete, but make games respectable and make their games fun to watch. You know, you get a good quarterback, not good, but quarterback on the up like Zach Wilson. You got receivers like Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. They're looking to add another one there. We know they were very aggressive in their pursuit for Tyreek Hill. And they have a defensive coach, so he should be able to get the best out of their defensive players. But Jalen, I'm gonna kick it to you before we talk about our breakout players for this division.
Yeah, I think nothing changes in the AFC East besides Dolphins, Patriots. Bills still command that division. Though the Dolphins are going to make it tough for them with the addition of Tyreek Hill. It's not, I wouldn't say it was a cakewalk last year, but it's not going to be as easy as it was last year because, like I said, the Bills did lose crucial games in that division, like that. What was it? 23-degree game in New England.
Oh, that game where it was extremely windy.
Yes, that game, games like that, like they lost games like that. So it wasn't a cakewalk, but it was primarily easy. The Tyreek Hill changes defenses. The Bills defense did get a major upgrade with Super Bowl champion Von Miller, two-time Super Bowl champion Von Miller. So that pass rush does get better, but the Dolphins offense does get better when you add a man who literally changes defenses. Patriots, they're going to be well coached, but I think they're going to be out talented.
Kind of like they were in 2020 with Cam Newton.
Yeah. The Jets are the Jets. I don't really see nothing in the Jets. 5-win team, probably maybe 6, but
I think Jets might be a little bit fun to watch next year. But we have breakout players for each division, and Jalen's is Jalen Waddle. Mine is Elijah Moore. I'm going to talk about mine. Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the New York Jets, was a guy who came draft time around. I thought was very underrated, and I think he flashed a lot of potential his rookie year. And I think if he doesn't get hurt again like he did his rookie year, he's going to be better. And I think he's going to take the next step. Not saying into a wide receiver 1, but like a high end wide receiver 2 type guy.
Yeah, I was high on Elijah Moore come draft time. I really like him. Speed, nice route running. But in the AFC East, I have my breakout player being Jalen Waddle. I know most people
was my guy.
I know most people probably be like, well, Jalen Waddle did have a great season last year, but I think that his season this year is going to be one to watch. When you add Tyreek Hill, of course, when you look at that Dolphins offense, Tyreek is clearly going to get the double team. I don't see why they would double. I don't see why they would double cover Jalen Waddle. But like I said, double teaming Tyreek Hill leaves Jalen Waddle to be that Z receiver where he come in, hit you with a 10-yard in route. It's little subtle moves where Jalen Waddle can use his speed and acceleration to get open. Either one of these receivers in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle one-on-one is dangerous because, like I said, they are both primarily fast. The Dolphins' offense is primarily fast. They also have running back Raheem Mostert. So
Chase Edmonds, they also added.
Yeah, so they have a lot of speed on that team. But when the double team shifts to Tyreek Hill's side, Jalen Waddle's going to be isolated, and he's going to work. He had a phenomenal season last year, and I feel like this year he turns it up a little more, and he solidifies his spot as a top 30 to 20 receiver in it.
He's already a top 30 receiver.
Yeah, but he's it's locked in. So my breakout player is gonna be Jalen Waddle this.
Last thing I'm gonna say about the Dolphins, real quick. We talk a lot about the Dolphins, and I've seen a lot of people say that when Tyreek Hill went to Miami, is gonna be for his career to die because Tua is not gonna get him the ball. Tyreek Hill's quarterback his first 2 years was Alex Smith, and I'm a big believer. And Jalen can tell you this. I'm a big believer in a change of quarterback isn't gonna make a wide receiver 10 times better. I think it's more of opportunity and just you being good. And Tyreek Hill is that guy. And although I don't think he might not put up some of the crazy plays, the Dolphins are going to be smart. They're just going to get Tyreek in space, have Tua make easy throws, and have Tyreek do the rest. And I think we're going to see more of those wow plays for Tyreek. Not those 70-yard bombs down the field, but 10-yard in a route that he takes 30 to 40 yards down the field just because he's Tyreek Hill. But we're moving on into the AFC North. And I did not go with my gut for the way the division fell out. And Jalen knows this. Okay, so I'm going to go into it. I think the Ravens are the team that go from worst to first this year. I think the Ravens go and win the division. They get their quarterback Lamar Jackson back. They were on top of this division and looked like they were going to win it before he got hurt. And yeah, I think the Ravens win the division. I mean, they did it, 2 out of the last 3 years. Last year was the only year they didn't do it. I think the Browns finished second. I mean, when you add a top 5 quarterback like Deshaun Watson to your team, especially if he doesn't get suspended, you add a receiver like Amari Cooper to your team. This team made the playoffs 2 years ago and fell last year. But on defense, you have a top 3 player in football in Myles Garrett, at least top 5 player in football.
Highest paid corner.
You get the highest paid corner, Denzel Ward. Defense is solid, man. The defense is solid. You probably could use another interior defense lineman or edge rusher outside of Myles Garrett. But the defense is solid. This team is going to be really good. And I think they'll finish with the second seed in the division. I was so close to putting Pittsburgh 3 over the Bengals. And let me tell you why. This is not a knock on the Bengals, but they got very, very, very lucky last year. They got very, very lucky last year. And you need a lot of luck in order to make a championship run. But they got extremely lucky. They had Lamar getting hurt in the division. They had the Browns completely falling off a cliff. They had even in the playoffs, they had Ryan Tannehill playing the worst game of his career. They also had the Chiefs melting in the second half. Because primarily, when we were watching that game, I don't think it was as good a defense as the Bengals were playing, more than just the Chiefs just not playing well in the second half of the football game. And they had that play in the Super Bowl where T. Higgins pulled on Jalen Ramsey's face mask. And yeah, they were just getting extremely lucky. And they were one of the healthiest teams in the league last season. All that stuff is not going to go your way 2 years in a row. And I was so close to putting the Bengals 4th, but I didn't. And I think the Steelers are 4th, but I think they're a respectable 4th place team. I think this is going to be one of the more competitive divisions in football alongside of the AFC West and the NFC West. Because the Steelers have Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is one really, really great coach, and he's going to get the best out of his players. He hasn't had a losing season in his career. That might change this year, but he got a lot out of Big Ben last year, so it makes me think he could get something out of Mr. Trubisky this year. And my breakout player for this division is Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Rashad Bateman. He was another one of my guys from last year's draft class, and he showed flashes with a worse quarterback than Lamar Jackson, obviously. We know that. And I just think he could, a lot like Elijah Moore, if he wasn't hurt for the start of the year, I think he could just show more and flash more and be a good impact player for the Ravens and a solid wide receiver too, beside Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews.
Yeah, well, this is a way too early prediction segment. So why not, man? Cleveland Browns, number 1 in that division. Deshaun Watson.
Schedule too.
Deshaun Watson was that guy before everything went downhill seemingly for him. Arguably, we could be saying Deshaun Watson might have a Super Bowl if it wasn't for that game in Kansas City.
Oh my God, their defense just didn't give up 42 straight points.
Yeah, if it wasn't no fault of his, he did his job in that game. But Deshaun Watson comes back, addition of Amari Cooper. The Browns are not done with their rebuilding in the offseason. Well, not rebuilding, but addition of pieces. I feel like they're the number one seed in the division, solely off the fact that it's a quarterbacks league.
They have the best quarterback in this division.
They have the best quarterback in the division.
I can surely say Deshaun Watson's better than Lamar Jackson, and I'm a Lamar Jackson guy.
They have the best quarterback. Looking at backfield, they have a top 5 running back, Nick Chubb. They also have Kareem Hunt. They also have Dearness Johnson, gave my
Broncos fans
gave my Broncos the work on Thursday night in Week 7. That's besides the point, though. Look at the defense. Myles Garrett, stud. Denzel Ward, he got paid the money that he received for a reason. The Browns were a quarterback away. Baker Mayfield is not the guy. He came in with the high hopes, and it just hasn't worked out. Trading for Deshaun Watson is going to work out in your favor. the Ravens did lose to Darius Smith. That takes off their pass rush. I'm not sold on the Ravens offense. I'm not sold on it right now.
Oh, and I got J.K. Dobbins coming back for the Ravens.
Yeah, but I feel like they're still missing something. Marquise Brown is a nice receiver in the field. I think they need another one. Trade talks with Debo Samuel are out. Maybe that's the guy they go get. If they get
I doubt
Debo
they get Debo
Samuel,
because I feel like they'll use him the same way San Fran used
yeah,
him.
they probably will. But if actually, I don't think they will. They have too many running backs on that roster to use him as that.
Yo, could you imagine just him lined up in the backfield with Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson, J.K. Dobbins?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's ridiculous.
But if they do go get a guy like Debo Samuel, I respectfully will move them up to number one. But I feel like they're just missing something. The Bengals had 3. They did have a miraculous run in the playoffs, but with a healthy Lamar and the Browns getting Deshaun, they're out talented at the quarterback spot, and this is a quarterback's league, and that's why I have Pittsburgh at 4. I don't know why Garnett is saying Cincinnati should be 4 because he knows this is a quarterback's league. The Pittsburgh Steelers do not have that quarterback. Big Ben was on the decline.
They didn't have that quarterback last year, and they made the playoffs over a team with Justin Herbert.
They made that took a little bit of luck too, because we all saw that game. Justin Herbert balled out. So
I know, but I'm just saying
that was just a luck of the draw.
Saying this like they didn't just make the playoffs last year. I just trust Mike Tomlin.
And the bank, but saying your point, but what's your point? You're saying the Steelers just made the playoffs, while the Bengals just made the Super Bowl. So
yes,
you can't put them at 4 with that.
Okay. I get that, but if you're looking at the two coaches, Mike Tomlin's obviously
a better coach. He is.
And the both offensive lines suck. Okay, if we're looking from a team perspective, the Steelers just have more impact players, in my opinion. They do. You have Najee Harris, you have Deontay Johnson, you have TJ Watt, you have Minka Fitzpatrick.
I gotta disagree with that.
I would take the Steelers.
This
is also a way too early prediction, so they're subject to change.
Yeah.
They're subject to change.
It's a quarterback's league. When you compare to quarterbacks, Joe Burrow is definitely better than Mitchell Trubisky.
And we do have a little bit of a disagreement on Joe Burrow. Would you say he's a bona fide top 10 quarterback? All right, let me not start because this is a subject for another episode. We need to go. We need to move on.
But Steelers are respectively the 4th seed in that division.
They're going to be a really solid team next year. They're still going to be solid. Moving on to the AFC South. Have the same exact order: Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Patriots, Texans. Oh my God. The Titans are the NFL's version of the Jazz. And I just talked about how much I dislike the Jazz. It's funny because I don't really dislike the Titans, but they have a great coach and they're going to stack up on regular season wins. And that's what's going to win in this division. The Colts, even though they added a guy like Stephon Gilmore, I just don't trust them in the long run. And I don't think that's saying anything bad about them. They have a solid team, but the AFC is extremely tough. And there's so many tough teams that you have to choose from. I'd rather take the team that has experience winning in this AFC, that made an AFC championship, 2 years ago. I'd just rather take that team. The Jaguars at 3. I think they'll have a really solid season. I think Trevor Lawrence mixing in with their new head coach and Doug Peterson. I think they're going to have a solid season, maybe a 6-5 win season. But then the Texans, I predicted them to go 0-17 last year. I think I might predict them to go 0-17 again. They are the least talented team in the NFL, and I don't think it's relatively close. Yeah. And my breakout player is Kwity Paye, the second-year edge rusher.
When you look at this division, I'm better than this team, but I'm also not better than this team. When we start the Titans, they're going to hold this division because they're better than all 3 of the teams in this division. The Colts are not better than the Titans, but they are better than the Jaguars, and the Jaguars aren't better than the Colts, but they are better than the Texans. With that saying, my breakout player, I feel like will be Caleb Farley. Most of y'all do not know Caleb Farley, young cornerback for the Tennessee Titans. He has a lot of speed, nice lateral guy. I look at this division. I see a lot of deep ball throwers. Matt Ryan can air it out. Trevor Lawrence can air it out as well. Davis Mills obviously can air it out. Davis Mills
played really solid last year. He can argue played better than Lawrence last year.
So I think they're going to look to take shots against the Titans. And I feel like Caleb Farley is going to be there to help on that back end. But yeah, when we look at the division ranks, it literally everything just falls in order. The Titans are better than the Colts. Colts are better than Jaguars. Jaguars are better than Texans. Texans are the worst team in the NFL. So yeah, the AFC South is no debate there.
Okay, moving on to the AFC West. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, let me start with my breakout player because obviously y'all see that's not a breakout player, that's a coach. I can't pick a player from this division. I just can't. I just think everybody is firm where they are. I don't really see any big breakouts. I mean, I don't count Javonte Williams as a big breakout because everybody's expecting him to break out. But my breakout coach is Brandon Staley. He is the aggressive coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. And a lot of things didn't go their way last year. They went for it, and a lot of fourth downs just didn't go their way. Some of those are going to come back, obviously. It's going to progress back to the average. And the Chargers, they have the most talented team in this division, Jalen. I'm sorry. I cannot give it to the Broncos to be the most talented team. You're talking about a team with Herbert, Eckler, Allen, Mike Williams, Bosa, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel Jr., Derwin James, and a first-round draft pick? And they have a first-round pick? Come on. If Brandon Staley messes this up, he should be fired. He should be. But I have the Chargers finishing first in the division. Like I said, they're the most talented team here. To be honest, if we were doing a Super Bowl pick here, they'll be my team to make it out of the AFC. That's how confident I am in the Chargers and Justin Herbert and this team. This team is just really, really good. Second in the division, I don't think the Chiefs take that much of a drop-off. Obviously, they're missing Tyreek Hill. But like I said earlier, I don't think them missing Tyreek Hill will be that big of a detriment to them. I don't think it would be. Obviously, it'll be a big detriment, but you still got Travis Kelce, who's a borderline wide receiver at this point. Let's put it how it is. You get some more guys like McCall. You have some more guys like McCall Hardman. You sign MVS. You have 2 first-round picks. They're going to do some damage in the draft, and I think they'll move up to second in the division. And third and fourth, to be honest, they could flip-flop. To be honest. But I have the Raiders over the Broncos right now, just because I think it'll take the Broncos a little bit more of an adjustment period. I don't think the Broncos will be a bad team by any means of the imagination, but I just think it'll take the Broncos a little bit more of an adjustment period than it does for the Raiders to be good.
I was waiting on this one. I did my homework on this. When you look 6 years ago,
6 years ago,
when you look at the Denver Broncos, they were coming off the top of the NFL, winning Super Bowl 50. Then a couple weeks later, Peyton Manning retired, and arguably that's when not arguably.
That is when the regression.
That's when the regression started. We've also in those 6 years we've been a pretty mid team when you look at the win total. But if we focus on this year specifically, division games match up. When we played the Chargers twice this season. We took one game from the Chargers in Denver, where we commandingly took that game.
But both teams are very different now.
Both teams are very different. The Chargers offense did lose them the game more than the Broncos. The Chargers offense
lost in the game more than the Broncos
offense won the game. Yes. With that in mind, when you add a top quarterback in Russell Wilson, who let's just forget the 2 years because he had a terrible offensive line and he was hurt last year with the finger injury. So that's 3 games. So stats might not show that he's a top quarterback in the NFL. We know
his stats look good. The eye test is what didn't look good last year.
And we know Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. Yes, we know he's
We do. But when you have three top 7 quarterbacks in the league, and you have another one that's borderline top 10. It just sucks that these teams have to play each other 6 times this year.
And it's going to suck what really for sucks. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and get my breakout play out the way. Jerry Judy is going to perform really well in the offense. The Broncos, I've been screaming it since Manning left. The Broncos are a quarterback away from getting into the playoffs. Now, the one seed in the division, that's tough, okay? That's tough. There's a lot of games that we could have won that didn't go our way, especially if we just look at this year. This year in Kansas City, we were a pick 6 when we played them in Kansas City. We were a pick 6 away, and we had a fumble 6 away. Those are 2 turnovers that cost us the game. Granted, in the first game when we had the pick six, we lost by 9, but it's still that's the play that lost us the game. Russell Wilson and Teddy Bridgewater on 2 different hierarchies.
They are. But
talk about NFL quarterbacks.
But every team in this division got better.
Okay,
it's not like the Broncos are the only team that got better. Well, outside of the Chiefs. The Chiefs got a little worse. But the Chargers and Raiders, both teams that barely missed out on the playoffs last year, both got better.
But still, when you look at this division.
And the Chiefs that were in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row and made the AFC Championship last year got worse. I'll agree. They got worse.
They did. They lost Tyreek
Hill. The Broncos, who had a top 10 pick both years, got better. Although they got marginally better. They got marginally better.
Our defense played phenomenal this year.
The Broncos finishing first. I think they can finish third at best.
We've held the Chiefs to the least amount of points out of our division. We've held them to the least amount of points when we played them, because that shows our defense has been playing. Our offense has been the bad part of this team. When you add Russell Wilson to this team, I can name all 13 quarterbacks and one receiver. We don't need to do all that. The Broncos have had since Peyton Manning left, and none of them match up with Russell Wilson. None of them.
This is the last thing I'm going to say. I don't think Jerry Jeudy's going to break out. And you know why? Because the reasons he hasn't broken out yet is not bad quarterback play. It's the fact that he can't stay healthy, which is very unfortunate. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. And he drops the ball. He just drops it. He drops it. Granted, Deontay Johnson fixed his drops. But you know what? He's still not staying healthy. So I think it's going to be pretty much the same thing. And Deontay Johnson's not a bad receiver. But I just don't think Jeudy is going to blossom into this, top 10 receiver that you see him being.
When we come back in January and we get the pre-playoff episode and we have the Broncos not playing in that wild card week. Okay, that's the kind of. I don't think we're going
y'all not getting a first round bye.
Well, when you see us hosting a game in that wild card round, we're gonna come back.
Well, we still got way too early. Well, we still got predictions to give out after the draft, but that'll be well after the draft, closer to the start of the regular season. But either way, here's our AFC playoff teams. Here's the 7 from me and the 7 from Jalen. Obviously, we have our 4 division winners, my 4 being the Bills, Ravens, Titans, and Chargers, and the 3 wildcard teams. I think the Chiefs get in. The Chiefs, they're almost a lock to be in the playoffs. I see people saying that the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs this year. Their quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what you're telling me. Like we said, it's a quarterback-driven lead, and Patrick Mahomes is the best one here. He's not going to miss the playoffs. I have the Browns making the playoffs as a wildcard team, too. Like I said, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, 2 great additions. Their coach, Kevin Stefanski, is a good coach. I think they'll be pretty solid. And then I also have the Dolphins making the playoffs. I have a lot of faith in this Dolphins team. Tua, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki, weapons galore. They have a good offensive coordinator as their head coach, and the former 49ers offensive coordinator. I cannot think of his name off the top of my head right now. But yeah, and then on defense, you still got impact players. You still got Javon Holland, who played phenomenal for a rookie last year. Still got Xavier Howard. You still have Byron Jones. Their secondary is still good. So I think that'll be solid next year.
Kind of similar playoff picture teams. The standings of the playoff picture is going to be a little different. As you can see, I have the Titans at the 2 seed.
I didn't know we were doing it like that. I just put mine up there.
Oh, okay. Well, when you look at it, we do have familiar teams. It's just the Broncos and the Dolphins differ when we look at these playoff pictures. Browns are going to get in. Chiefs are going to get in because it's a quarterback-driven league. When you look at the quarterbacks in this playoff picture, we have Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and then Titans just make it in due to the fact that their division is bad. So that's our AFC playoff picture. Just one difference in those 2 teams, Broncos and the Dolphins. But I'm just going to say, just watch what the Broncos do this year. It's a new energy in Denver. We ain't had this energy since 2015. Watch what we do this year.
Okay, moving on to the NFC. And me being a Cowboys fan, People are gonna call me biased for this, but I still see the Cowboys winning this division. I mean, let's look at it. They, like we said, this is a quarterback league. They still easily have the best quarterback in this division. They have the best running back room in this division. They do still have the best wide receiver room in this division. Receiving room in general. They do. They do.
Okay.
Receiving room. Not saying the best receiver, but the receiving room.
I don't even know about.
They definitely do. They definitely do. They have the best defensive player in this division. And outside of Darius Slay, they have the best corner in this division. This team is still uberly talented, and I don't expect this team to win a Super Bowl. I'm not delusional. I don't expect this team to win a Super Bowl, but I do expect them to win the NFC East because the NFC East just isn't that good. It isn't that good. Washington, I have in second. I think they're going to be a really solid team with Carson Wentz. I do actually believe in Carson Wentz more than the average person does. Terry McLaurin's a good receiver, obviously. Oh, and the Cowboys also still have an extra first-round pick. We're going to talk a lot about first-round picks here. There's teams in this division with multiple. Washington, they have a first-round pick that's early in the draft. They also have, a solid defense that played horrible last year, but they were really hurt last year. So, yeah. They have a good running back room. I trust Ron Rivera as a coach, and I think Washington's going to get the second seed in the division. I have the Eagles at number 3. They did not beat a team over 500 last year, and I know it's a new year. It's a new year. It's going to be a new team. I don't care. They didn't beat a team over 500 last year. They went 9-8 and got absolutely torched in the first round of the playoffs. I think they're going to regress a little bit. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy. I mean, you look at the receiver room, it's basically just Devonta Smith around a bunch of nobodies. Oh, well, Dallas Goedert's there, but yeah. And then defensively, it's just a bunch of older. Well, even though they're good players, it's a bunch of older guys. You got your Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Darius Slay. Like I said, a bunch of older guys. They need a crop of young talent, which they're going to get in this draft. But I think Eagles finished 3rd, and we both have the Giants finishing 4th. I don't want to have to talk about the Giants.
NFC East, man. The NFC least as their nickname. When I look at this division.
Oh, wait. Before you go, my breakout player is Antonio Gibson, running back for the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm. When you look at this division, Dallas traded away Amari Cooper. Dallas lost Randy Gregory in free agency. Dallas did not make a big move in the offseason when you lose 2 phenomenal players like Amari Cooper and Randy Gregory. Having a little bit of legal trouble over there in Dallas as well. But that's off the field stuff. On the field, they do have the best quarterback in the division. I can agree with that. Receiving room,
they do. Michael Gallup. And when I say receiving room, I take into account tight end, which they have the second best tight end in this division. They have Dalton Schultz. They have CeeDee Lamb, who is the second best receiver in this division. They have Michael Gallup, who is the 4th best receiver in this division. They have the top 2 tight end and 2 top 4 receivers in this division.
I think, me personally, I like the Commanders better than the Cowboys receiving.
They just have Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas.
Curtis Samuel
Curtis Samuel can't stay healthy. I mean, you can say the same thing
with injury.
You can say the same thing for Gallup.
But when you get, but if we're talking about injuries, take Michael Gallup off, take Curtis Samuel out. The Commanders are the better team. Receiving room, I think it's going to be the Commanders. Defensive player, Michael Parsons is the best defensive had a phenomenal rookie year, but Chase Young also did have a phenomenal rookie
year. Michael Parsons' rookie year was way better than Chase Young. Stop it.
They played 2 different spots on the field. Michael Parsons'
year was still better.
It was better, but he plays 2 different spots.
His year was better as a pass rusher.
Chase was a primary.
Chase is a phenomenal player, but Michael Parsons' rookie year, Michael Parsons is like a top 20 player in the league.
Yeah, okay. Chase Young got hurt this year. I think he would have took the next step if he could have stayed on the field. This edge rushing stats would have been a little bit higher, but he was hurt. Best defensive player could go to Michael Parsons. I'm a favorite towards Chase Young when he's on the field. When I look at this division, I see Philly taking that step of being number 1 seed. They were just in the playoffs this year. They did play the Buccaneers, unfortunately, but Philly's not that far out from being a contender.
They couldn't beat a winning team last year, though.
They didn't beat a winning team this year, but when you have 2 first-round picks, or quarterback who's getting better, he's on an incline instead of a decline. Jalen Hurts looks to take the next step, but I had the breakout player being Devonta Smith. Like I said, the Giants terrible. They're not going to be anywhere no time soon. That's 2 wins I think Philly can take. Devonta Smith will lead the charge. Great receiver from Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner for a reason. Had a good year in Philadelphia. Battled through a little bit of an injury, but once you get fully healthy, a young player like that fully healthy is scary. Commanders at 2. I feel like Dallas just slumped.
They did lose a lot this offseason.
Their offseason
I'm not biased.
Yeah, their offseason has been terrible.
Or I should say delusional.
I know I preach that it's a quarterback league, and they have the best quarterback in the division, but
by a considerable margin.
But they don't have surrounding pieces around them to really make that team pop. Besides Dak Prescott,
I think they have surrounding pieces at least to win the division. Maybe not to win a playoff game, but they'll at least win the division.
Ezekiel Elliott's been on a decline since the first 3 years of his NFL season. Jerry Jones made the stupid decision of paying him that early. That's money that could have helped them towards this all season, where they could have had players like could have brought back Randy Gregory, or they could have brought back Amari Cooper. Maybe they could have did much more with players like that with money that they had.
Yeah, and we could both agree on that, but
yeah,
I still think the Cowboys surrounding pieces can at least help them win the division. I'm not saying win a playoff game, because I don't even believe that team could do that. I didn't even believe this team could win a playoff game at the start of the season last year, and I still got upset with them, even though they lost.
Well, that's our NFC East. Bold prediction, I think Philly wins that division.
Moving on to the NFC North, and we have a discrepancy at the top of the division, and I have the Vikings winning this division, and I have the Packers coming in second, the Lions coming in third, and the Bears coming in fourth. My breakout player is Justin Fields. Justin Fields had a up and down rookie year that was filled with a bunch of highs and lows. And I think Justin Fields, if they prioritize around him right in the draft, can take a step into being a solid quarterback in the NFL. But I don't want to talk about that, because obviously what we're going to be here to talk about is the Vikings over the Packers. And this Vikings team, they have a solid quarterback in Kirk Cousins. And I say solid, and I mean solid. He's probably the most solid quarterback in the league. You have a running back in Dalvin Cook. You have another one, Alexander Madison. The talent is there offensively. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Talent is there offensively. And then defensively, you brought in a Zadarius Smith, who you took from the Packers, You bring in a Zadarius Smith. And then you have the number 11 pick in the draft, where you could draft a corner, number 12, or you could trade up to get a guy like Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley, who I think would help them very much come this next season. And I just don't think the Packers lost a lot. Like, the Cowboys lost a lot, but the Packers, they lost what? The best receiver in the league, or arguable best receiver in the league, in Devontae Adams, however you want to look at it. They also lost their best edge rusher, Zadarius Smith. Those are two big losses. Those are two huge losses. And I trust the Vikings' new coach, and Kevin O'Connell. He's a guy that come over from the Rams. I trust him to be good. I trust him to work well with Kirk Cousins. And there was times where the Rams won that division with Jared Goff over guys like Russell Wilson. So I think this could be a time like that.
Well, I'll go ahead and start my breakout play. My breakout play is going to be Allen Lazard, like Garnett said. Devontae Adams now being on the Green Bay Packers, along with Marquez Valdes-Scantling being in the AFC West, both players being in the AFC West. Allen Lazard is going to take that step up because Aaron Rodgers is still that guy. When I look at the Green Bay Packers, they did lose Zadarius Smith. They lost Devontae Adams. They lost Marquez Valdes-Scantling. But if you look at the flip side of it, Jair Alexander is coming back. Aaron Rodgers is now officially back. Packers fans don't have to worry about that. Aaron Rodgers is a back-to-back MVP.
Mm-hmm.
One of the clutches quarterbacks when it comes to a fourth quarter being down. When I look at the Green Bay Packers, it's a quarterback-driven league. I know y'all heard me say it so many times this episode. They have the best quarterback in the division. The Vikings do have better offensive weapons all around. When you look at Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Green Bay, Deebo Samuel's still out there.
San Fran would not trade him.
It's way too early.
San Fran would not trade him to another.
San Fran don't have a first-round pick. Green Bay has two.
They wouldn't trade him to another NFC contender, though. I don't think they'll much rather settle for, like, Even if like the Jets offered them like both of their seconds at 34 and 38, which are practically close first round picks with how deep this draft class is, I would rather take that and send them to New York than send them to Green Bay, which is the team that I'm probably going to see in the playoffs.
I look at Green Bay, and I'm solely going based off of Aaron Rodgers. This division leader is solely based off of Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings lose too many games where they're supposed to win for me to say that the Vikings can be number one team.
But that was under Mike Zimmer. This is a different coach now.
It is a different coach, you're right. But it's still the same players. They lose too many games where they're supposed to win. 3 and 4 in this division. I can't flip flop. I personally give it to the Bears. Even though they lost Khalil Mack, lost Allen Robinson as well. Why is everybody losing a receiver and an edge rusher? What's up with that?
Because they're the most expensive outside of quarterback.
Yeah, that's weird. But I still like the Bears over Detroit. I don't see Detroit getting phenomenally better with the draft or their off season. And I think the Bears, with the people they still have, can make a nice little run for like 6 or 7, 8 games. So that's why I have the Bears at 3 and the Lions at 4.
Okay, moving on to the second to last division, the NFC South. You have the same breakout player. It's Kyle Pitts. It's Kyle Pitts. I think I could speak for both of us here. The Falcons, outside of the Texans, are the least talented team in the NFL. The least talented.
Kyle Pitts.
And their offense is going to be Kyle Pitts. And there's literally, outside of Cordero Patterson, it's going to be Kyle Pitts. It's going to be Kyle Pitts.
He might go out there and throw a touchdown.
And last season, he had 1,000 yards and a touchdown. One singular touchdown. He's going to have more than that this year. He has to. You even lost your second best receiver in Russell Gage. Your number one receiver right now is Olamide Zaccheaus. That should be enough. They're going to feed Kyle Pitts. But either way, I don't like what you have with the Saints here. Okay, but I'll go into mine. The Buccaneers have won. They have Tom Brady. They're retaining most of their pieces outside of guys like Antonio Brown and Ali Marpet. They're retaining most of their pieces. I have the Saints at 2, which was a team that was leading this division up until Jameis Winston got hurt. And this is a team that beat the Buccaneers 4 times in the past 2 regular seasons. So I think the Saints can repeat it. I think the Saints can repeat it and make it to the second seed in the division. I have the Panthers at 3 and the Falcons at 4. Like we said, the Falcons have little to none talent.
Well, he already said why breakout players Kyle Pitts. Who else are the Falcons going to give the ball to besides Cordell Patterson? Buccaneers, I mean, they get their guy Tom Brady back. Defense doesn't fall off. Nothing falls off for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to take the 1 seed in that division. Carolina over New Orleans. In the draft, I think Carolina takes a quarterback, and he will initially come in and be the starter. Sam Darnold had a phenomenal start to the year and crashed and burned to end the season. They do have Christian McCaffrey, who, when healthy, is a problem. Has the most usage in the NFL at running back, or at player in general. He's the most used. When I look at the Carolina Panthers, okay, you got Brian Burns. You lost Stephon Gilmore, but you also have J.C. Horn, who was hurt. And when he was playing, he was balling out. James Winston's coming off an ACL tear. That's a hard injury to bounce back from. The Saints are looking to get Michael Thomas back, probably bring another receiver in. So the Saints are going to be nice, but I feel like Carolina's going to take that one game that's going to put them over the New Orleans Saints. But
I was big faith in Panthers last year.
Yeah, the Panthers had a nice little squad last year, but the injuries killed them, and then Sam Darnold just forgot how to throw a football. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the New Orleans Saints do get 2, but I'm gonna give the edge to the Carolina Panthers, probably by like one game. And yeah, the Falcons just suck. If the Texans were the team, the Falcons would be the worst team in the NFL.
Okay, moving on to the last and final division, we have the NFC West. And we have a different division winner, but everything else stays the same. I have big trust in Trey Lance. I've had big trust in him. He's been my guy since the start of last year's draft process. And I think he's going to come in with Brandon Ayuk. If Deebo Samuel's back, if he's not back, I don't care. They're winning this division. I have the Rams at second. The Rams, although they've added Bobby Wagner,
Allen Robinson,
they've lost a lot. We talk about receivers and edge rushers. They lost Odell Beckham Jr. They lost Von Miller.
They didn't lose OBJ. He's still not.
He's not going to sign back with the Rams. I feel like if he was going to sign back with the Rams, he already would. They wouldn't have signed Allen Robinson in that case.
We don't know.
They traded Robert Woods. They've lost a lot of pieces that were crucial to that championship winning team. And I just think they take a little bit of a decline in the regular season. Also, Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number outside of that NFC championship game. But Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number in the regular season. The Cardinals at 3. We've seen back-to-back years where the Cardinals start off really, 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 really hot. Kyler Murray looks like this MVP candidate. And then all comes midseason. Right down, right off the cliff. I think we could probably see the similar thing happen this year. And in 4th place, we have Seattle. They traded Russell Wilson.
Don't even waste your breath on Seattle. Don't even waste your breath. When I look at the NFC West, Deebo's gone. Depending on, well, not even depending on starter. Whoever the starter is in San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk's going to have to take that step. Because they have a guy, and I don't know if he's not a household name. Juwan Jennings.
Jennings is really solid.
We saw him towards the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and he looked like he was coming for Ayuk's spot. Brandon Ayuk started off slow. This past season, he stepped it up. With Deebo gone, I see him being the guy. I don't know what San Francisco is going to do at that quarterback spot. Still up in the air right now. We don't know. With me saying that, Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. I look at the receiver side of the ball: Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson. And whatever they do, Odell Beckham Jr.
Van Jefferson is really solid.
Yeah, with or without Odell Beckham Jr., the wide receivers are better. Offensive line, actually, no, they just lost Whitworth.
They did lose Whitworth. The Rams lost a lot, bro. The Rams
did lose Whitworth.
Lost a lot.
I think I might give a line to the 49ers. Secondary, I'm giving it to the Rams.
Pretty easily, though.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. When you look at the defensive line, it's tough because they did just lose DJ Jones. He came to Denver. He's the number one run stopper in the NFL. Nick Bosa battles through a lot of injuries. Aaron Donald is the best player in football for the Rams. So I'm going to give the defensive line to the Rams. Even though the 49ers do have Eric Armstead, Leonard Floyd did step up. He normally plays that outside linebacker spot. He did step up a lot in that championship run, which he was getting mentored by Von Miller on the outside, and he was already a nice player. So putting that together and then giving him the role that Von Miller played, he should elevate his game. I probably would have had him as my honorable mention for breakout player if Deebo wasn't leaving the 49ers. So I think the Rams do take the first seed. San Francisco will be the second seed because they are better than the Cardinals, and Seattle I'm not going to waste a breath on because why should I? The Cardinals start off hot every season, and they seem to forget how to play football. I know people are going to say, well, they lost DeAndre Hopkins, but it was the Cardinals' defense getting it done for them, for real, if we really talk. They put Kyler Murray in that offense in a lot of situations where it was just cash in, go take it to the cashier and get your money.
D-Hop is coming back for them.
D-Hop is coming back, but I don't think they're better than the 49ers or the Los Angeles Rams. That's 4 games where I arguably only see them taking one, if that. The Cardinals, they're just not going to get it done.
Okay, and this is the last part of the video. This is our NFC playoff teams. Like I said, I didn't put mine in order. Although I do think the Cowboys will finish with the last seed out of all these teams. Buccaneers, 49ers, Vikings, and Cowboys were my division winners. And in the wild card, I think the Packers, Saints, and Rams get the wild card spots.
With mine, Tampa Bay gets 1, Los Angeles gets 2, Green Bay gets 3, Philly gets 4, San Fran gets 5 because they're only going to be probably like a game behind the Rams, like they were a couple years ago with the Seattle Seahawks. Minnesota gets 6, and Arizona just creeps in there at 7 because they do have a third place schedule. and they're going to be third seed. So they're going to win. They're going to win a lot of games outside of just that division. If I had to pick a winner, since you said the Chargers are going to be for the AFC. If I had to pick a winner for the NFC, Rams running it back.
Okay. So since we're doing this, my way too early Super Bowl prediction is Chargers and Buccaneers. I was thinking Buccaneers come out of the NFC.
I hate picking the team that's not mine for the AFC. I'm going Rams NFC. Buffalo AFC.
Okay, Rams, Bills, and I got Chargers, Bucks. 4 different teams. And if I have to pick a winner, it's go Chargers, go. I'll take the Chargers in the Super Bowl.
Bills Mafia against the Rams.
Okay. Well, that'll wrap it up for today's episode. Hope you stayed to the end. Follow us on all social medias down below. And Jalen, got any final words?
It's draft week.
It's draft week coming up. I'm really excited. Peace. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn notifications on to hear the latest full episodes or segments from the show that come out the day after the show airs. Until next time, peace.